Okay, hi everybody who's watching. This is Joelle, JD Blackrose, and I am interviewing the incredible Charlaine Harris, one of my most favorite authors. I discovered Sookie like way before there was a True Blood. And I remember thinking, well, what took them so long? Like, it's so great. Um, and so I have so many questions, and I want to tell you one of my most favorite series of books. It's only three. Is Midnight Texas. I loved Midnight Texas.
Thank you.
Yeah, loved it. I just reread the first one. So I'm going to get right into it. One of the things that I think you do amazingly well, like superbly, is use setting as a character in and of itself. In fact, the prologue to the first Midnight Texas book is all a description of the town. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you think of setting and how you use setting, and how that sort of comes to you in your mind.
First, I think about the protagonist and what I want her to do in the story, what my goal is. Then I pretty much create the setting that she has to have to do those things. And the setting gets more and more important to where I feel like that one really can't exist without the other.
So when you were thinking of Midnight, the description alone of it at the beginning is so evocative. What did that look like in your head to you?
Every summer when I was a kid, I spent part of the time in Rock Springs, Texas, which is on the Edwards Plateau. Very small town, not as small as Midnight.
Yeah, Midnight has a population of like a dozen.
Yeah, really.
So.
But it was really small. And Rock Springs is in a very rocky area, not too surprisingly, I guess. And it just looks so barren to me. I grew up in Mississippi in the Delta. No rocks. So Rock Springs made a deep impression on me. That was where my mom was from. And I kept thinking someday I'm going to use a town even smaller because it was such a sparse, spare lifestyle. And people had completely different interests than any of the people I had ever met. So it made a huge impression on me.
And even the names of the roads, like, Witchlight Road, and like those things, you're using that really to create atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've loved that about your books. I really think that's something that I could tell that you think about it, that you focus on that. And do you feel like that with every book, or do you feel like it really was like that in Midnight? It was really like that in Bon Temps. Do you feel like that's important for every series?
I do. Maybe if I was writing books that took place in very ordinary settings, that wouldn't be so important. Like if I said a book in Memphis or, Dallas or somewhere or a suburb, that wouldn't be quite as crucial. But I think when you're creating a world in which magic can happen or supernatural creatures live, you have to make the world as interesting and seamless as possible.